Yeah, it was. You said it. Perfect night. A lot of fringe players coming in. Even room for the youngsters as well at the end there. So it was a perfect night. Ludogorets didn't really lay a glove on them. Let's be honest. They weren't great tonight. But yeah, all smile for Tottenham.
Lots of highlights. What stands out for you?
Dele. I thought Dele Alli stood out for me. I just think today we got to see when Dele plays with that chip on his shoulder. When he plays aggressive, then also the flair bits come out as well.
That's what it was about, a chip on his shoulder, a point to prove.
Yeah, I thought when Dele was at his best, he played with a real chip on his shoulder. And I thought playing the way he did with the chip on his shoulder, then it allowed his confidence to grow, and then the flair comes out. But Croucher makes a good point. Everybody played pretty good. Vinicius played great. Dele played great. And Ndombele was fabulous as well. And all those young guys coming through. And at the end, Joe Hart coming off. You can see it's like it helps being top of the league, but it seems like there's a real camaraderie there.
Just real feel-good factor at the moment around that team and that club.
Yeah, it certainly was. And you mentioned the front three there. If that's the backup front three, it wasn't a bad one. We said at the start of the game, you know, and they all played very, very well. I thought Vinicius is a fantastic backup to Kane, isn't he? And as long as they can keep him happy, I think it's something that they've really missed Tottenham, a backup striker to Harry Kane.
Very good. They've got depth.
They want the fringe players to get in the eye of the manager.
But in many ways, this is a more important part of his career than when he's just waltzing into starting lineups and the manager has him as the first name on the team sheet. This tells you everything you need to know about his mentality, his approach, his hard work, taking his chances.
Yeah, well, he's probably in the mould of a Tottenham player, maybe from Glenn's day, let's say, because he's a footballer. Let's be honest, but. Notoriously, Mourinho doesn't, he wants people that win the ball back and lets his front three sort of take care of the rest of it. So you do fear for him in that point of view, but he's such a good player. I think he will force his way back in there, and he will play a part in this Spurs side without a doubt.
And in the Euros, and it's an important year for getting games under his belt with that on the horizon, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think you need to make it difficult on the manager. You don't want people to pigeonhole you and think, oh, he's a defensive midfield player, or he's just a passer. Show that you can actually win balls back and you can press. You can do those little things that Mourinho wants. And then, like we saw with Dele, when you do those little things well, then you can get on the ball, press high and play those key passes. He can do that. But I think maybe those little moments that Crouchy was mentioned, that defensive side, if you can do more of that, then I think he makes it hard to get out of the team.
Yeah, well, certainly he's given Jose food for thought this evening. Let's talk about another young man who's making the manager think about his place in the team. Do you want to head over to the touchscreen? Because Vinicius gets 2 goals tonight, but Dele Alli has now impressed you with the mindset of keeping on going and getting that 4th goal. With Dele Alli tonight, how much was it the football that impressed you? How much was it the mindset that impressed you, that sort of aggression on the pitch?
Yeah, I think as Owen alluded to it early doors, I think when you think of Dele Alli, when he first broke in, and that's when he was at his best, I think that he was hungry, he was aggressive, there was an edge to him that perhaps like a Steven Gerrard had, it was maybe borderline, is he going to get sent off, and he was playing on the edge, and I just think that was when he was at his best. And these are little moments that, although, listen, not everyone likes to see that kind of stuff, but I think that's how Dele Alli's got to be if he wants to get back to the levels that we know he can get to.
It's going to be a challenge for him, isn't it? Because he's hardly been involved. This is his first start in a month. Every game before tonight, he was hooked early.
No, but it took those moments to build a bit of confidence, and then the flair comes out. We saw the touches, 80 touches. That's great. Think back to some of the games. I think it was the one where they lost him and they played really poor. The whole team struggled. Every time he took it, it was a bit safe. There wasn't that confidence there because he wasn't playing, and I get that. But I think when you, as Crouchy just highlighted, when you get physical and you get into the game, you get angry. He plays with a chip on his shoulder, and then I think you see the flair, and I'm happy for him because I think there's a really special player in Dele, and he's too good not to be playing football.
And we have to be careful because we know it's the Europa League against Ludogorets, right? It's not the weekend against Chelsea or anything. But the pressure on him at the moment, having been one of the Tottenham star men over the past couple of seasons, and then the new manager comes in and he's less involved. There's a lot going on, I'm sure, in his head at the moment.
Well, let's not underestimate what he achieved at 18, 19 years old. When he was signed from Milton Keynes, I think he scored. He got to 50-odd goals quicker than Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard, and that's how good he was. It was incredible. But I think he's just fell away for whatever reason, and now he needs to get back to that level because I'm sure he will do, and I think Tottenham fans will hope that will be in the Tottenham shirt.
And when he's good, what a difference maker he can be for them.
Yeah, and I think the good thing is I think he can look at what's happened with Ndombele last year and all of a sudden now what he's giving to the team and how important he is. Dele could easily do that. Dele is a really special player, but I think if he's going to play in there, he's got to get the goals, he's got to get the assists, and he's got to play with that chip. Mourinho loves that. Mourinho loves guys that, that are a bit angry, to be fair. And I think Dele suits him, but I just think if he can play like he did today, he'll play a lot more.
What would his role be on the weekend?
Well,
Bench?
Well, I think the starting 11 is set as it is, but I think if you've got to find a guy that's 6'4" that can affect games. He can get in the box. If they get crosses in and Dele's in there, Crouch, he's a handful to mark, isn't he?
Yeah, the difficulty is the last game Tottenham played was Man City, and they were fantastic. It was a clean sheet. They dominated Man City. I thought they're top of the league. These fringe players that have come in tonight, although they've done well, you can't argue with what's been playing ahead of them at the moment. They're top of the league. They've been playing fantastically well, and they can't argue when they're sitting on the bench, perhaps on the weekend.
We have seen, though, in the past, players that change Jose Mourinho's mind. They almost have more standing with Jose, don't they? Because he calls them out as someone who he thought wouldn't work, and they have.
Well, that's it. What we saw tonight was the importance of the squad and the quality they've got in depth now. Yeah. There's a lot to be.
It's good, isn't it? I suppose there's a scrap to get in that starting 11.
Well, of course there is, but I mean that's what you want. If you're Jose Mourinho, you want those players looking good, scoring goals, full of confidence, and being able to come in because there will be injuries. There's so many games.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what Jose has to say about Dele Alli.